Hello Stardust, welcome back to Radical Raspberry for another radical video. Have you taken a deep breath today? Let's do it. Lots of love in. And sigh it out. Today I'm here to talk about another freaking video about armpit hair. Yes, I have armpit hair and I also have a vagina. Who knew those two things could happen together? Welcome back to my channel for some more radical things like this. I'm going to talk about how to get over the insecurity of having armpit hair and being able to do this on the internet and not caring at all. It's actually great. I've come such a long way in these couple years of growing out my armpit hair and originally just being curious about it and then being grossed out about it and then being ashamed about it and then hiding from it and feeling guilty that I wanted to grow it out and then being like, oh wait, like why do I care so much about this? And then just kind of having like lack of interest about it, a little bit apathetic about armpit hair because I was like, I don't really care, like why does it matter? And then being like, yeah, I rock it, and then being like kind of like, oh yeah, like I still find myself attractive, and then so it's been such a roller coaster. Welcome. We're going to talk about it and how to overcome those insecurities of having armpit hair and also having a vagina. Whoa, two things can happen at once. Who knew? So here it is. I actually bleached it a while ago when I bleached the hair on my head because there was some left over and I was like, hey, like why not? And then I did that and it was really weird. Now I'm not that much of a weirdo where I'm insanely into armpit hair and I'm like grooming it and like petting it all the time, but like you can do that. That's okay. Like I said, I really don't even think about it that much anymore, but if it's there on my body, I still feel good. How did I get there from being incredibly ashamed? I think a huge part is going out in public with it. I think that's the biggest thing you're gonna have to do because you're gonna have to get over those fears. First I asked myself, like, why am I insecure about it? And I said, well, because I've never seen anybody with it who I feel like people like, because I had people say mean comments to me about it and how it's gross and smelly and disgusting. And then I thought, but do any of those things align with me? Do any of those things speak truth to me? No, they don't. So why am I harboring those beliefs that they're fake, they're an illusion? A little more self-reflection came along and I said, how do I feel with armpit hair? And I said, I feel fine. I don't really care. So then I was like, okay, let's do it. And I went out in public and then I felt so much better afterwards. The first place you should go to with your armpit hair is probably like a yoga class or a meditation class or a super like hippy dippy doodah class, because you know it's gonna be a community of just weird people, so it's normally okay for you to have the armpit hair. So that was the first place I actually went to having armpit hair. I wasn't even really aware that I did it. I just put on like this tank top naturally and I went to the class and I only realized I had armpit hair when she was like, and breathe in, reach to the ceiling, and I was like, and I felt hyper aware for a moment there, thinking like, oh my god, are people gonna look at me and think that I'm gross? And then I was like, oh wait, like I don't care. And then I just kept doing it. At first it's like awkward and weird to put your hands up in the air. Hands up in the air, put your hands up in the air. But once you do that, and you're gonna do it in a yoga class at least 10 times, you feel better and less ashamed about it. Now, take two is to go out to an actual restaurant with armpit hair. Whoa! I was wearing a dress and it just was like this, and I went out to public and I ate my food. And before I went out, I was like, oh my god, like people are gonna look at me, they're gonna think I'm weird, people are gonna say things to me, like I can't do this, should I just shave it off? What am I thinking? Why am I making such a big deal out of this? Actually, once I went out, nobody said anything. Nobody really cared. Nobody probably even saw. I think we have this idea that like people are thinking about us when in reality everybody's just thinking about themselves. So just like how I was thinking about my own armpit hair, I wasn't thinking about this lady who has bad breath, you know? It doesn't really matter. Nobody is thinking about you, okay? I know that might like hit you in the head, but nobody is thinking about you. Everybody is too concerned about their own little world. A big part of gaining confidence in my armpit hair is realizing how natural it is and that it's nothing to be ashamed about because it's natural and it's there, and it's like, why does it like I don't understand why people care. It just confuses me. Another big part was going to the beach, and having armpit hair was a big part. I think I've only really shaved it like once because I felt like shaving it one day. I hate it because once I shave it and then it gets prickly or I get really bumpy there and it's just like terrible. I prefer not to go through that, so I just leave it. Is it because I'm lazy? No, I wash myself, okay? I think once you realize where the fears are coming from, once you go out in public and get over that fear, once you realize that it's natural and that there's nothing wrong with it or to be ashamed of and it's actually not gross, and if you just wash your pits maybe, then you're good and you don't smell gross, then it's completely fine and you're feeling more secure about it. And I think like anything, it's sort of just like with time. I know it took me a while because I actually didn't go outside and I was constantly hiding from it. So if you quickly go and you show the world your armpit hairs and you realize nobody cares, then you kind of realize, okay, what do I care about? Does this make me feel good? Yes, so keep doing it. And then it's that simple, really. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know by giving it a big thumbs up and let me know how your armpit diaries are going. I will see you next Thursday. And as always, don't forget to think beyond and Om. Peace.